Hi everyone and welcome back to the S&P Saga, your weekly recap of the S&P 500 index. We'll reveal the winners and losers that drove 119% of the index performance and which companies will announce earnings next week. Tech, communication, and cyclical giants took another beating this week, offset by financials, healthcare, industrials, and consumer defensive, making a comeback as investors rotate away from tech. As usual, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to understand how individual stocks impact the S&P 500. Let's jump right into this week's review. The S&P 500 closed the week at 5,954.50 cents, down 1% from last week and losing 561 billion of market cap. The P/E ratio, based on current price and latest earnings, stands at 29.79, down 0.30 since last week. Let's go to your gainers. Berkshire Hathaway up 76.4 billion or 7.4%, driven by strong Q4 earnings, while the company increased its cash reserves to $334 billion. Walmart up 30.8 billion or 4% on no specific news. Visa up 27.8 billion or 4.1% on no specific news as well. MasterCard up 17.2 billion or 3.4%, just like Visa on no specific news. Intuit up 13.3 billion or 8.4%, following strong Q2 earnings that beat expectations, despite the company's mixed guidance for the upcoming quarter. RTX up 12.9 billion or 7.9% on no specific news. ABBV up 12.2 billion or 3.4%, following a recent European approval of its newer immunology drug Rinvoq. Home Depot up 11.1 billion or 2.9%, reporting better than expected Q4 results and achieving 0.8% rise in same-store sales, the first increase in 2 years, but the company issued a cautious guidance for fiscal 2025 due to higher interest rates. Bank of America up 9.8 billion or 2.9% on no specific news, and Progressive up 9.3 billion or 6% on no specific news as well. Moving on to your losers. NVDA is down 246.1 billion or 7.5% as the company reported strong Q4 earnings driven by high demand for its Blackwell AI chips. However, the stock declined due to concerns over profit margins, potential new export restrictions to China, and emerging competition from startups like DeepSeek. Tesla down 144 billion or 13.2% on continued disappointing vehicle sales in Europe. Alphabet down 115.4 billion or 5.2%, following announced staff cuts in its cloud division. Broadcom down 90 billion or 8.8% amid a general sell-off in chip stocks following NVIDIA's earnings report and concerns over potential US trade restrictions on AI chip exports to China. Microsoft down 84.1 billion or 2.8%, following reports of 2 cancelled AI data center leases suggesting potential oversupply. Apple down 62.5 billion or 1.7% on no specific news. Note that the company announced a $500 billion US investment plan that would create 20,000 jobs. Amazon down 48.9 billion or 2.1% on no specific news as well. On another note, the company unveiled its own quantum chip following Google and Microsoft's announcements. Meta down 38.9 billion or 2.2% on no specific news. Palantir down 38.6 billion or 16.2% on the increasing selling pressure that we covered last week. Advanced Macro Devices down 17.8 billion or 9.9%, just like NVIDIA and Broadcom, influenced by potential new US trade restrictions on AI chip exports to China. This week, there were no changes announced to the S&P 500. Q4 2024 earnings are almost done, with 54 members releasing earnings last week and 90 companies left to report. 9 S&P 500 members will release earnings during the week ended March 7, 2025, and the most interesting will be Costco and Broadcom on March 7th. Which company do you think will top the list next week and why? Let us know in the comments below and subscribe for our weekly updates. To find out why Lilly and Procter & Gamble were up last week, you should watch this video next.